Hello, it's Tashawn Mirage tracking on this Monday, November 20th, 2023. In this video, we got some very important news I gotta give y'all because we have the threat for severe storms today for parts of the Deep South. There is a hinged chance for severe storms and mainly is being driven by the hatch risk for tornadoes. So it's gonna be a very detailed video. Let's hope I do a very good job because I haven't done one of these things in a while. So if you like these videos I be doing on my channel, please hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So right now, first of all, let's focus on what's going on right now. Because if you look on your screen right now, you see this slow pressure that's spinning up here towards the central U.S., Midwest, including Oklahoma and Kansas. That's the trough. That's our upper level low pressure. That's our system that's going to bring these severe storms today for parts of the Deep South. So you can see this thing spinning up here, right here. And along with that, there's not really much cold air behind it, but there's is enough. So yeah, it's gonna be a very big day. But also, we do got some more storm that's coming from the Pacific Northwest, which I'm not gonna talk about that because it's not this main topic of this video. But this moisture is standing all the way far as north as Ohio. So even though y'all not gonna be in the threat for severe storms in the south, only you gonna see severe storms. Severe storms is possible tomorrow for parts of the East Coast, but the risk it be much lower. So now let's get right into this video. So right now we gonna head over to the Storm Prediction Center because we got a threat for severe storms. So the Storm Prediction Center has a enhanced chance, a level 3 out of 5 chance of severe storms for parts of central Mississippi, northern Louisiana, and a little bit of eastern Texas. You under a gun for severe storms, and this is being driven by a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes. So it's going to be a very big day for a lot of people for parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. There's also a threat for damaging winds. There's no hatch risk for damaging winds, but there is a 30% risk for damaging winds. And also, I don't think it's going to be much of a hail threat because we don't have a lot of instability. We don't have a lot of cape to support lots of large hail. So it's mainly going to be a damaging wind and tornado threat. So now, first of all, let's get right into this. So if you live in parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, 10% hatch risk for tornadoes. Here's your season states at risk for the tornado threat. How about the wind threat? Here's your wind threat. 30% risk for wind for parts of eastern Louisiana and central Mississippi. Here's your season states at risk for the damaging wind threat. And also, there is a hail risk for parts of eastern Texas all the way towards western Mississippi. Here's your season states at risk for the hail risk and also the severe risk. You're under enhanced risk for severe weather for parts of central Mississippi, northern Louisiana, and eastern Texas. Also, here's your season states at risk for the severe risk today. So now, let's get right into this video. So right now, what's causing this? Well, a very strong dip of a jet stream, a very strong trough is dipping down. And this trough that I'm showing you right now will bring our risk for severe storms. So as this trough makes its way through, bringing these strong severe storms of parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, it does start to dip down. And look at this. Very strong trough moving way through. And it's not only going to be a today event, there will be severe weather possible for tomorrow, even though the chance for tomorrow will be much lower. And as that trough makes its way through, it gets out here. And behind that, we might have a potential for another storm that might move its way through. So now, let's get right into the ingredients. First of all, we got to have dew points at least 60 degrees or higher. We having that. We have dew points in the low to mid 60s, so we have enough dew points. Do we have the instability? Do we have the cape? We need 1,000 joules per kilogram to support. 1,000 joules per kilogram to support tornadoes and severe storms. Do we have the very strong low-level jet winds? Yes, we have that. So we're going to look at our ingredients. Then after I get through looking at our ingredients, then we're going to show y'all the overall forecast, the tornado, significant tornado perimeter, the updraft tracks, and also the future radar and what the radar is going to look like as these severe storms make its way through. So let's start with the ingredients. So first of all, do we have the dew points? Yes, we do. So as we get later out of the day, you can see parts of eastern Texas, parts of Louisiana. You got dew points in the upper 60s and 70s. That is what you look for tornadoes. Very high dew points. When you got dew points that high, that's very bad. And that means we can have a significant threat for tornadoes. So that's why I think the Storm Prediction Center has that hatch risk for tornadoes. Is because all the ingredients are just there for tornadoes. Like, I'm not talking about no baby tornadoes when we have a hatch risk for tornadoes, especially a 10% hatch risk, we're going to be talking about some big Regis tornadoes, possibly EF3s, EF4s, or possibly EF5s. Those kind of tornadoes. So it's not going to be a safe night for a lot of people, depending on what kind of house you're living in. If you're living in a mobile home, I suggest evacuating and find somewhere else to stay until these severe storms are over. Because if you get an EF3, a tornado that comes towards y'all, and you live in a mobile home, you will 100% not survive. Because you need to be in a much stronger building, like a brick house or something, or a storm shelter. So as we get further out, as we get in towards later day parts of Louisiana, these dew points do get in the upper 60s, 70s, parts of southern Louisiana. Mississippi, you got some dew points too in the mid 60s. So the dew points, we get to put a check on that. We got that. So how about our instability? How about our Cape values? We need at least 1000 joules per kilogram, which is that means 1,000 joules per kilogram to support these severe storms. There's not going to be a whole lot of instability, but will be enough to support tornadoes. So this is why hail risk is very low, because we don't have that strong instability like we see. And hail is pretty much more common in the spring and summertime when the temperatures are warm enough. So by the time we get further out, by the time we get in towards later day, 3 p.m., look at these Cape values. We got, for parts of Louisiana, you got Cape values well over 1,000 joules per kilogram. So we got that. Parts of Mississippi, you're not quite there yet, but you will get there later day. Look at this. As we get towards later day, parts of Louisiana, South Mississippi, got Cape values over 1,000 joules per kilogram. So we got the Cape in place. So now, how about our low level, our low level jet winds? These are winds 5,000 feet above our head. These are winds a mile above our head, and this is the 850 millbar low level jet winds. You need at least 30 mile per hour winds above the surface to support these severe storms and tornadoes. So we have that. We have winds way above than what we should have for tornadoes. So by the time we time this out, look at this. Look at the low level jet. This is why I think Mississippi is what's going to see the most threat for tornadoes. But this is later today. But look at this. We don't got very super strong low level jet, but still enough to support severe storms. Like I said a moment ago, you need 30 miles per hour winds above the surface. I mean, yes, you need 30 miles per hour low-level jet winds to support tornadoes. We have well above that. We have winds anywhere from 42 to 46 miles per hour in the low levels in the atmosphere. So look at this. This is 7 o'clock, and this is where tornado time peaks. Tornadoes peak at night because that's when the low-level jet winds peak. It's later at night. That's why the winds get stronger at night. So look at this. Parts of central Tennessee. Look at these low-level winds. Like that's a very strong winds, guys. Look at that. I'm like before I continue, guys. If you hear the tongue of my voice, I'm not here to hype stuff up or none of that. But I think we're gonna have some serious business today, because I think this is not gonna be a regular severe weather event. I think we might get upgraded to a moderate risk. It's possible. So let's don't push. I'm not gonna push it that far yet, but we don't never know. But I think we most likely 100% confident that I think we're gonna stay at least in a enhanced chance of severe weather. I don't think we're gonna see no moderate risk because we don't got that kind of super setup. We don't have very high dew points, very high instability. Everything is just like normal that we're supposed to see for severe storms. So I'm not going for the hike yet, but look at these winds for parts of central Tennessee. If you live in parts of Nashville, middle to eastern Tennessee, I think you're gonna see lots of damaging winds by the time these storms get through, because just 5,000 feet above your heads, you got winds blowing anywhere from 70 to 74 mile per hour wind. So it's a very strong low level jet making its way through. And as we get in towards tomorrow, we do have attracted severe storms threat for tomorrow too. Look at parts of the Carolinas, Georgia. You got some very strong low level jet winds moving your way through, even though the chance is much higher. So now let's get right in towards our significant tornado parameter. How much chance do we have for a tornado? And this is based on all the ingredients, like the instability, the dew points, the mid-level jet. That's what they add all that up, and that's how we get the significant tornado parameter. So this is based on all the ingredients. So the higher the numbers are, the more favorable conditions it is for a tornado. So You can see by the time we get farther out, by the time we get into towards Texas, you can see when you get into that orange and red, that's high chance of favorable conditions for tornadoes. So parts of eastern Texas, you need to watch a threat for tornadoes. Parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, you need to watch a threat for tornadoes. Look at this. By the time we get farther out, it does grow. Look at this. Parts of Louisiana, when you add the dew points, the instability, the low-level jet winds, that's how we get the significant tornado permit. That's how we get our numbers. And look at these numbers. Very, very high. We nearly getting off the charts right here for parts of Louisiana. These are very high chances for tornadoes. And look at this. By the time we get far out, by the time we get towards 8 o'clock, not as much, but still enough. So I think the main threat for tornadoes will probably be Louisiana. I think northern Louisiana is probably what's going to see the most tornado threat than Mississippi, because I think that's where we got the highest instability and the highest dew point. So Mississippi, Louisiana, North Louisiana, you got the best chance for tornadoes. So now we're gonna look at our updraft heuristic tracks, and this is based on rotation. Now I'm putting a disclaimer right here, guys. Just because you see a track that's very high doesn't mean you're gonna see a tornado. Every time you see these tracks, not every single of these tracks are gonna produce a tornado. These are rotating tracks. These are rotating storms. So just because a storm rotates doesn't mean it's always gonna produce a tornado. Just to keep that in mind. But when you see those much darker colors of the tracks, that means higher rotation, means better chance for tornadoes. So by the time we get far out, by the time we get into towards later day, look at towards Louisiana. Look at this. You see this? Parts of Louisiana. If you live in parts of northern Louisiana, look how significant that is. So that's why I think northern Louisiana is probably going to have the best chance of seeing severe storms. Look at that. That's something we need to watch, guys. These tracks looks very concerning. And also throughout Mississippi, you're going to see some tornadoes too. So these are not, every time, this is not tornado. These are rotating storms. So these are the storms that could rotate. So the biggest one is probably Louisiana right here. So I think this one right here is what we need to watch. Right here, if you live in this part of Louisiana right now, guys, you probably need to watch the skies, because I think that's where we have the best chance of seeing large wedge tornadoes. Mississippi, you can also see some tornadoes too. So the area I'm about to circle right here, if you in this area that I just, oops, not this. Oops, I'm X this out. If you in this area that I just circle right here, if you live in this area that I just circle, that's where you need to be that's the area you need to look out for. The area I just circle is the ones that has the best chance of seeing tornadoes. So in this section right here, what I circle, you have the best chance of seeing tornadoes. Even though you could possibly see some rotating storms south of this, it's still possible. I think the best chance for tornadoes will probably be northern Louisiana and western Mississippi to central Mississippi. So now let's get right in towards our feature radar. What the radar is going to look like with these storms. So by the time we get later out today, by the time we get in towards 10 o'clock, this is where things start. And this is like literally now, pretty much now, because it's like it's nearly 10 o'clock as I'm recording this. So by the time we get in towards 10 o'clock, which is this video will probably already be up by now, the storms are already starting to fire up, guys. This is going to be pretty bad. Look at this. By the time we get in towards 1 o'clock, this is where things start finally picking up. So it's going to be around the noon to afternoon hours where we have to watch these storms. Look at this. Parts of eastern Texas. Here we go. Look at these little cells right here. These cells are very concerning. These cells right here, these pack of storms right here is what's going to be our tornado producers. So we got to watch these storms down south. Nothing too much to worry about over here, because I think the only thing that's going to do over here is just bring some rain. And not really much severe weather in that part. But look at this. By the time we get towards 4 or 5 o'clock where the sun does set, because we are past daylight saving time, so the sun goes down much earlier, so the sun doesn't stay out after 5 o'clock no more. So around 5 or 6 o'clock is where it's going to be dark already. So nighttime tornadoes are very scary. And look at this. Parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, look at this. This looks very concerning. Look at this whole patch of sails coming through. Moving through. Mississippi, you on the guns too. Here it comes. By the time we get towards 7 o'clock, making its way towards Mississippi. And look at this. Look how big and strong these storms are. This area right here, I think it has the best chance of seeing tornadoes right here. Like I just circled. right here where I just circled has the best chance of seeing tornadoes. So by the time we get further out, by the time we get in towards the nighttime hour, which is 8 or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, moving through Mississippi, these storms got long bring tornadoes. And guys, this is going to last all the way throughout midnight, past possibly after midnight, then getting towards Alabama, because Alabama, you do have a risk for severe storms too. So now, besides that, how strong these storms could bring, how much wind these storms going to bring. Well, I think the main focus of the damaging winds are probably going to be once after midnight, because that's where the low-level jet is going to be very strong. So if you live in parts of central to eastern Tennessee, you probably have the best chance of damaging winds. Even though the storm prediction center doesn't have a risk for damaging winds for y'all, you still going to see damaging winds. These low-level jet winds are pretty strong. So even though the strongest winds, you're not going to see really much wind gusts during the severe event. But look at this. These are still some very strong winds. But look at this. Back towards middle Tennessee, you got the best chance of seeing damaging winds, because that's where the low-level jet is the strongest. You still gonna see some very strong damaging winds for parts of Mississippi. You got winds anywhere from 38 to 47 mile per hour wind gusts. Parts of central Tennessee, you got wind gusts anywhere from 50 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts. You have very strong winds. How much rain this system is going to bring? Because we need some needed rain for parts of Louisiana. That's a good thing about this system. We do need the rain, but the bad part about this is we don't want the tornadoes. That's very damaging. So by the time we get further out, look at the National Weather Service. We do have some rain. This system will bring decent amount of rain from now to throughout tomorrow. Look at this. Not going to see much rain for parts of Louisiana, but you're still going to see a lot for parts of Alabama and Mississippi, and even Tennessee. You're going to see lots of rain with this system too. So this is going to be it for this video, guys. If you live in parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, please stay safe tonight. Please have a way to get alerted. Please install a weather alert app on your phone, because alerts going to be blown up all over the place. We're going to have millions of tornado warnings. And yes, Ryan Hall, y'all, if y'all know him, he's a weather person. He does go live during severe weather events. I will have his channel link in the description, because he will be live today. I won't be live, but he will be live. So please subscribe to this channel and watch this live, because he will go full detail. He's better than me. That's for sure. That's right, because he is better than me. But he will be live. So this is going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Stay safe.